Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is Yvonne Blaszczyk, President and CEO of BMG Group. How are you doing today, Yvonne?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure having you come down to Wall Street Silver. I wanted to get you on to talk about everything that's happening in the markets, gold, silver, all the fun stuff. Let's start off with the BRICS nations. Do you think, Yvonne, they'll be successful at what they'll be doing, and how will this affect the precious metals market?
It is actually very, very interesting. I do believe, as many people have observed and witnessed, the incredible growth and the kind of uh, um, uh, a reliance on some cultural, political, geopolitical, historical factors that brought all the BRICS nations together. It has created a huge alternative. It has created a huge opportunity for a new economies, emerging economies, to actually have a trading partner with some very powerful countries. BRICS nations right now, they represent 3.7 billion people all over the world.
Wow.
They represent that's about 45% of the world population. They represent 30%, almost 30% of global economy.
Right.
Territory is also huge. Now, there are major players, and they are kind of grouped along a certain lines. You have the Asia Pacific countries are rallying behind, the BRICS alliance. You have
Right.
the Middle Eastern countries with Iran, Egypt, Saudi Arabia being part of it. You have in South America and Latin America sentiments towards a joining or they want to join. So there's a huge opposition. I see a tremendous shift, dramatic shift from west to east in terms of a economic power, trading power, which of course has an impact on gold.
Right.
So gold is in the center of it. As you know, and I'm sure many people in your audience know that BRICS countries are planning, and many of them already are doing it, backing up their local currency, fiat currency, with gold.
Right. Do you think
Russia,
they'll be successful at backing it up by gold? And how will that affect the US dollar, Yvonne?
well, US dollar, it is a reserve currency right now, and I don't think it's going to disappear. However, we'll have a stiff competition.
Right.
Now, it is unknown. Will BRICS countries have their own like a euro universal currency, or they will just be trading in gold, and their local currency will be backed by gold? So Russia ruble is de facto backed by gold currently.
Right.
China is number one producer of gold. Russia is number two producer of gold. So with all the sanctions, the gold market internationally was not touched. On the contrary, all those countries seem to be brought together because of the other pressures, looking for alternative avenues for trading, for doing all sorts of alliances,
Right.
economic, and eventually military, probably. So that has a huge impact on US dollar, but I don't think uh, um, uh, I don't think US dollar will diminish. There is too many factors that would have to be affected by that. But definitely it will have a huge impact on international trades and a huge impact on price of gold. The price of gold, the gold above ground, is only limited amount.
Right.
Of course, the supply and demand is going to increase. Now, recently, there were a lot of interesting changes. India, for example, a few months ago, changed their gold policy. They are allowing import of gold.
Oh,
What it
really?
means that any country, like Russia, for example, that has sanctions, they can go and sell their gold, or
Right.
China, in Vietnam, and they can finance anything they want.
Wow.
Venezuela, for example, under humongous sanctions, Venezuela sent gold in exchange of some technological assistance to Iran.
If you're using your personal phone number to close business deals, you're not just mixing work and play, you're sabotaging your own chance of success. Not only can it look amateur, but you and your team are probably using 18 different apps to get this done. Let the sponsor of this video, Nextiva, cut this down to one app. Nextiva consolidates your business voice, texts, video meetings, and CRM inside of one app. You get seamless, personalized customer interactions across all channels. And you can even do this if you are currently running your business off your personal phone and your CRM is a spreadsheet. You don't need any tech experience. You just need to download their app and follow the easy setup. You can make this one change and your business will look as polished as a Fortune 500 company, and you'll be able to focus on closing and scaling. This is the year to level up your business and lower your costs. Use the link in the description below to get 50% off your plan. Yeah. Do you, do you think, sorry for cutting you off, Yvonne, do you think the US dollar, like what they did with Russia by putting so many sanctions, the US dollar has been weaponized, and that's why all these countries like who are joining the BRICS alliance, they just need an alternative, and they'll do whatever they need to. They'll trade in gold, oil, but they want an alternative other than the US dollar because it's been weaponized. Do you think that was a big mistake on the US for them to weaponize the US dollar?
To some degree, yes, but I think those political alliances have been growing for quite some time.
Right.
In 2014 and 15, Russia and China developed alternative system to to SWIFT.
Right, that's right.
That was way before. So I think the world is always looking for alternatives. As the technology is growing, as the world is emerging, and as understanding of the temporary existence of a fiat currency, a lot of countries, a lot of looking for alternatives. The fiat currency is very vulnerable. It's great to control your internal economy and everything else,
Right.
but what is the shelf life of that? Gold was always money and always will be money.
Yeah.
Gold is money. Gold never went to zero for 5,000 years. And if you look around the world, all the fiat currencies that you can wallpaper with them because they
Yeah, that's right.
actually lost their value. So that is what is driving it probably to some degree. But there are so many factors. It is
Right.
not one factor that affects it. Before you used to think, oh, gold is affected by interest rates, by inflation, safe haven demand, geopolitical conflict. But look at the central bank buying.
Oh yeah.
Central banks are buying. And central banks buying more and more and more. So if you follow that, you will understand that that's what is happening. And if you are running your country, if you are responsible for your the economy of your country, survival, then you will look at that and say, okay, we have to do something. Many of those emerging countries, they actually have gold deposits. They just don't have them perhaps refined.
Right.
My company, we are members of a LBMA integrity chain. So that makes a huge difference. So many of those countries would like to do that, perhaps, refine their gold and be able to have it in an open market.
Right.
But the real issue is the geopolitical. I think that's what is shaping our world today, economy, financial systems. And that will have impact on fiat currency, whether it is US dollar or some other currency.
Yeah. Yeah, you absolutely nailed it, Yvonne. Now, what do you see with the silver? We talked so much about gold. Do you think silver is on the same path as gold, or will it even have bigger potential than gold, possibly in gains? Or what do you see with silver versus gold?
It's very interesting. A few years ago, I used to think silver would be amazing because it's inexpensive. It's
Right.
kind of a poor man's gold, has incredible industrial applications. So it'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
It's silver. However, silver, and I mentioned that last week to someone, that is a sleeping beauty. The silver is just waiting to take off.
Right.
Now, it used to be there was a relationship between silver and gold, but I think that relationship is different right now. So I think it'd be like a parallel to gold, but it may actually there was a lot of empirical evidence that silver will surpass the price of gold. As you know, my predecessor Nick Barishev wrote the book $10,000 Gold, and he was predicting that gold will be $10,000 an ounce. I seen different prediction, even more.
Wow.
So and the silver is the same thing. So it's difficult to say when, but I can tell you for sure, gold will fluctuate on daily basis, weekly, monthly. At the end of the year, you will always have incredible rise in price. And so gold over I don't know how many hundreds of years always grew in value.
Absolutely.
Maybe dipped for a period of time. So it's a different type of investment. It's an investment really with a store value that will never go to zero. It's an investment that will always have its value growing with a geopolitical and other factors around the world. And now,
Absolutely.
in terms of silver, silver has incredible industrial application, but also a lot of with the suppressed prices of silver, the production of silver to the scale that is required may be slow, which will definitely impact the prices.
Right.
And there be an upward pressure. So today silver is about $29 with change, and it's hovering around that $30 mark. Gold is $22,322. They're gonna hovering. I do believe that gold will be soon. I don't know exactly when, but soon it will reach probably $3,000. And then will, depending what will happen geopolitically, the elections in Europe.
Yeah.
Today, Hungarian head of state went to Kiev to try to put the pressure on ending the war.
Right.
Uh, there are situations, but elections themselves have impact on the policy, on the economics, and all the things associated with the world became so complicated, so complex that there is difficult to look at all those variables. But one thing is for sure, that gold is a major player and it will be major player for decades to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
The insurgence of gold as a gold standard, it will become a part of our reality.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a renaissance of gold standard.
I truly believe that too, Yvonne. How long have you been in the precious metals market? And what got you in, like what inspired you to get to do BMG and everything like that in the precious metals space?
I've been with the MG for 13 years,
Right.
and the precious metals, I think you have to be a gold bug. You have to be in love with gold to actually research and understand its role in human history, in culture, and of course its value in the financial systems.
Yeah, absolutely.
And be passionate about that. So that's what. And in reality, world is a really wealth preservation.
Right.
Try to tell when I speak to different people that the preservation doesn't mean that you must be ultra wealthy to
Hmm.
preserve your wealth. Average person, they can preserve their house, what they have, by having exposure to gold. That's why we have developed different products beside the physical gold that you can purchase and store in a private vaults from our company.
Right.
We also have mutual funds backed with gold,
Yeah.
backed with silver. That's all we have in them. So you don't have any other products. You don't have any stocks, any proxies. And what it will do, it is accessible to people. They don't have maybe $2,300 to spend on an ounce of gold.
Right.
But each unit has the equivalent amount of gold stored in a vault.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So it is amazing. And for me, that's a really service to society, because we are enabling people to have exposure to to gold, to silver, to precious metals
Right.
that will really preserve their lifestyle, preserve what they have, or at least a kind of a counter any other losses they may encounter in their portfolios, in their savings.
Yeah.
Um,
Inflation, hyperinflation.
Inflation, hyperinflation, and all the turmoils as well. Someone a long time ago said, I think my predecessor, that when there's a blood on the streets, that's when the gold goes up in price.
That's true.
But or you to I don't know, to bribe the border guards. We said those days are over. Oh, the gold right now is part of our economic system,
Right.
not just for the jewelry, but when you really understand a gold as money, gold being that store value, always valuable, never going to zero, then you understand that its place in the economic system and financial system.
Yeah, absolutely. Yvonne, it's been such a pleasure having you come to Wall Street Silver. This is your first time, and I hope it's not the last because as the market develops in the next month or two, or even less, we'd love to have you back on to talk about the markets.
It will be my pleasure. I think after the elections in France,
Yes.
after the next few weeks, we will see some dramatic changes um, uh, between now and the end of the year that will definitely impact gold. So there are some fascinating things are happening.
Yeah,
So please
absolutely.
stay tuned, and I'll be very happy, to speak with you again.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Again, I'll put all the descriptions to BMG to your guys' link and company
Fantastic.
in the
Thank you.
description below so everyone can connect with you guys.
Super.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.